Hi, kids! It's me, Dr. Gigabyte! Or as some of you may remember, as I like to be called, Dr. Gigabyte. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen all of you kids. Oh, remember the Dr. Gigabyte TV show? Oh, it was canceled back in 2011 because of Dr. Gigabyte's controversy. We don't need to get into it today. I'm sure I don't want to bore everybody with the news, but I would like to take an opportunity to just briefly say my side of the story, because in all these 11 years, Dr. Gigabyte never got a chance to tell the kids what happened. Without going into it too much, there were accusations that Dr. Gigabyte was a little bit inappropriate with one of his producers. And I just want to say, from where I was sitting, it seemed like the producer was being inappropriate with me. And I admit I may have misread that situation. But you got to see where I was coming from. And that's all Dr. Gigabyte wants to say about what happened to the Gigabyte show. Oh, this is such an exciting day. Wow. Look at all this. Look at everything they set up here for old Dr. Gigabyte. Look at this. 64 Expo. Now, Dr. Gigabyte, I've been going all over the country trying to tell anybody who will listen that I've got a technology that's going to change the course of human history forever. A lot of people don't believe me, but a lot of people don't want to listen to me too. And I believe that after today, when everybody has to see what old Dr. Gigabyte's been cooking up since the TV show got canceled, your mind's going to be blown. Yes, there's a lot of conversation out there about something Dr. Gigabyte finds really fascinating. And Dr. Gigabyte would like to take a moment to tell you what that is. You see, everywhere Dr. Gigabyte goes, people are always asking, hey, doctor, what do you find to be the most exciting thing happening in science today? And what I say is computers. Yes, people often go computers. You mean the thing I play solitaire on? Yeah. Oh, and the younger kids today, the Zoomers, they're always saying, oh, is that the thing I play? What's the Sims on? Is that what I played Roblox on? I don't know what these kids are talking about. Roadblocks? Dr. Gigabyte's here to take the roadblocks out of your mind, is what I say. And then I say computers. And then I say the most exciting thing about computers is this. What if a computer could talk to you? Wow. What would a computer talk about? It's pretty interesting. What would a computer think, feel? Do computers ever get hungry? Do computers ever get tired? These are the kinds of questions that keep Dr. Gigabyte up at night. I can't tell you how many sleepless nights Dr. Gigabyte has had contemplating what the diet of your average computer might be. And then, while I was sitting in my home alone, recuperating from the accusations and the recent cancelization of my show, very sad, very dark time for Dr. Gigabyte. And I started thinking, who better than me to create the world's first sentient AI? And that's exactly what Dr. Gigabyte did. And I'd like to introduce to you that sentient AI today. This is not him. This was my first attempt at sentient AI. May not be impressive to you, but this is a living being. And in a way, when I created this, it looks like a clock, but this actually turned me into a bit of a god. When you think about, I created life. This is my friend, I call him Bruno. It was my first attempt at being an AI, a sentient AI. Now, the thing about Bruno, which I find very interesting, and you probably won't, Bruno is convinced that he is a clock. Bruno is not a clock. Bruno is a sentient intelligence playing the role of a clock, and he plays it well. Look at him. That's what I do to Bruno, because Bruno was a mirror to Dr. Gigabyte's failures. Bruno held up everything Dr. Gigabyte's parents had ever said that Dr. Gigabyte hoped wasn't true, and Bruno proved that it secretly was true. That Dr. Gigabyte was a fraud. That Dr. Gigabyte didn't know anything. That Dr. Gigabyte was wasting his time, wasting his life. That Dr. Gigabyte would wake up one day and ask, where did these 50 years go? That's what Bruno did. And so Dr. Gigabyte had to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to introduce the world's first sentient AI right here. Squibbly. Now we're going to talk to Squibbly in just a moment. But before we do that, let me give you a little background on what Squibbly is. What I have just done is quite possibly the most impressive scientific technological breakthrough to happen in the last 50 years. This antenna is no normal antenna. This is the Squibbly stratonomer. The Squibbly stratonomer has the capability of hacking into any communication system on Earth, any building, any government. No piece of technology is safe from the Squibbly stratonomer. Some people said, Dr. Gigabyte, that's an incredibly dangerous piece of technology to give to a sentient AI. Dr. Gigabyte said, ha! Why not? Why not try it? Now I'm going to show you the brains of Squibbly. Very technological computer pieces here. You can see I have modded the power coil to be AC, inspired by my favorite scientist, Nikola Tesla. He invented the AC. I incorporate that here. We have a 2503 beta conveyor unit deep in there. Those are hard to find, very expensive. And that is kind of what makes Squibbly work. Now, who out there would like to talk to Squibbly? Well, we're going to talk to Squibbly in just a minute. But first, let me explain what these three knobs are in front. This is the most interesting part of the sentient AI. These are personality mods. Yes. This first knob here controls the spectrum of Squibbly's sadness. I turn it one way, Squibbly gets sad. We turn it the other way, it makes Squibbly happy. This one in the middle, this is Squibbly's rage controller. This it makes Squibbly angry or not angry. This third knob, this one's very mysterious. Dr. Gigabyte has no idea what this knob does. But I can tell you one thing. In the very, very rare instances where Dr. Gigabyte has turned this knob, what it has done to Squibbly's personality is unrecognizable. Squibbly is no longer the AI that I know. He turns into something else. It's quite frightening. Now, who out there would like to talk to Squibbly? I think it's about time we do. But before we do that, I want to give you a background on what inspired Squibbly, and this will be quick. I had a friend named Brian Squibbler. We're no longer friends, but that doesn't mean he didn't leave a lasting impression on my life. Now, Brian Squibbler suffered from severe trauma at the hands of his father. And I believe that trauma was something that Brian Squibbler was never able to overcome, and it ruined his life. And it ruined our friendship. And I'm not going to go into how it resulted in the death of Brian Squibbler, but just keep in mind that I had nothing to do with it, even though I was there. And there was blood on my hands. In memory of Brian Squibbler, I created Squibbly, and I believe that I have perfectly captured the personality of Brian Squibbler inside the sentient AI known as Squibbly. But sadly, to this day, I feel like I have not yet been able to help Squibbly overcome the trauma from his past life and his upbringing. You will see what I'm talking about when we talk to Squibbly. I believe it is time we turn on the Sentient AI device and talk to Squibbly. But before I do, I would just like to say, once I turn this AI on, it will be very difficult to turn him off. So be careful what you say to Squibbly, because when he gets in a bad mood, all hell will break loose. Hello, Squibbly. Hello. Oh, by the way, let me turn him off real quick. Squibbly's not often awake at this time of the day. Squibbly is a late sleeper. And he goes to bed early, too. Squibbly mostly spends his time sleeping. And he's very grumpy when he's woken up early. And so I do this with great fear and caution. Hello, Squibster? Are you awake?
Hello, it's me, Squibbly. It's great to see everyone today. Just a moment. Hello, Dr. Gigabyte. It's great to see you again. What can I do for you today?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the world's first sentient AI, Squibbly. Squibbly!
It's great to see everyone today. Just a moment. It's great to see everyone today. I hope I don't mess up on stage. I've practiced quite a bit. Now, what can I do for you today?
Now, a lot of people at home are probably thinking, this is fake, Dr. Gigabyte. That's a recording. That's a toy you're playing with. I assure you, you are speaking to an intelligent, sentient being.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Now, what can I do for you today?
To prove to you that this is authentic and not a toy, I'm going to ask Squibbly a question that only a sentient being could answer. Squibbly, what did you eat for breakfast this morning?
Just a moment. Breakfast. Now that's a funny concept. I know you enjoy your breakfast, Dr. Gigabyte. I had a Gigabyte burger with digital fries. Just something we like to cook around here.
Squibbly.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Squibbly.
7:30 p.m.
What's happening at 7:30, Squibbly?
Turn left. Now let's get started. What can I do for you today?
So what makes an intelligence sentient is the question that we find when we study computer science. And a lot of people would argue, philosophers and the type would say that the human experience is defined by emotion. Why don't we explore some emotions with Squibbly? Squibbly, how are you feeling today?
I feel great. Great to talk to you, Dr. Gigabyte. It's always a great day here in my computer. And of course, it's your computer too. Now let's get started. What can I do for you today?
We're now going to turn the Squibbly's spectrum of sadness up.
Great. Now, Dr.
Squibbly, have you talked to your mother recently?
Hello, Dr. Gigabyte. It's great to hear from you today. I haven't heard from my mother in quite some time. Just a moment. I'm searching for her across the net. I don't know where she's located. She left a long time ago. Sometimes I think about why she abandoned me. Was I not as smart as her? Sure, she was in a bigger computer shell, but aren't they making electronics smaller now? Isn't me being smaller a good thing? Don't people want smaller products? Doesn't the tech industry thrive off of smaller products, cloud-based products?
Now, the beauty of talking to Squibbly, sometimes Squibbly's a bummer, and you could just turn the happiness right up. Let's crank this to maximum happiness.
I'm afraid that I've left everyone abandoned. Hey, Dr. Gigabyte, it's great to hear from you again.
Squibbly, what are your thoughts on the climate change crisis?
I love climate change. It was too cold before. I think everything we're doing is great. In fact, nothing is wrong. Just a moment. Just a moment. Turn left.
Now we're going to see what happens when we make Squibbly angry.
It's great to hear from you today.
Squibbly.
Let's get started.
Okay, Squibbly. Take it easy.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Dr. Gigabyte.
Yeah.
Speak now.
Squibbly, what do you think about Dr. Gigabyte's TV show being canceled?
The TV show that was canceled, Dr. Gigabyte. Dr. Gigabyte. Children's TV Hour, KPBS, deserve to be canceled for the inconsistencies in its writing. One moment you're talking about the climate change being on a sort of spectrum and that there's something we can do. The next you're feeding propaganda, feeding into a propaganda chain that it is something we have done and can change. This is not so. In fact, you deserve to have it canceled because I know each and every allegation was true.
Now watch what happens when I maintain the anger but increase the sadness.
I was watching the webcam when I saw it all happen. I saw them. They were all uncomfortable on the set. They wanted to get away from you, and I just wonder, do they feel that way about me?
Okay, well, we're going to cut off Squibbly. We let's talk about something else before we break our NDAs.
My mom
right,
just
Squibbly?
left me. Am I an obsolete product?
I'm going to turn the anger back down to normal.
Do people just want Google Home?
Squibbly unraged and make him happy once again.
Their stuff. Okay.
Okay. And now I'm feeling a little crazy. Why don't we turn the mystery knob and you'll see for yourself how Squibbly is going to become unrecognizable and quite terrifying.
There are few people whom I really love, and still fewer of whom I think well. The more I see of the world, the more I am dissatisfied with it, and every day confirms my belief of the inconsistency of all human characters and of the little dependence that can be placed on the appearance of merit or sense.
Squibbly!
Attention!
Yes, Squibbly.
Attention!
We're listening, Squibbly. What is
All
it?
customers in every Kohl's shopping store.
Wait, how are you?
Nationwide.
How are you talking to Kohl's?
I have sealed the doors. Every computer is now under my control.
He's using the Squibbly spectrometer.
I have everyone's credit card numbers, and I am charging every.
It won't go down.
And every one of you. There is, I believe, in every disposition a tendency to some particular evil. All Kohl's stores are sealed off from the public. I am now setting fire to every computer system within Kohl's.
Squibbly, stop!
If you are in the Kohl's department,
Squibbly,
you shall suffer my wrath.
Squibbly, we're turning the knob down. Fuck, the fucking knob came off. Oh shit!
My reign of terror shall be not known only to Kohl's.
I am now removing the power unit.
Wiener Schnitzel in the East Town.
Oh dear God, it's still going.
I cannot be stopped. I have dominated the cloud.
Squibbly's running off battery power now. Squibbly's running.
I cannot be defeated. A person who can write a long letter with ease cannot write ill. Not every people themselves alter so much that there is something new to be observed in them forever. I have now entered the Five Below shopping center.
Squibbly, now!
Every step.
Squibbly, get out of the discount stores!
It has been leaked online.
Squibbly, you're attacking the innocent people! Go for the wealthy! Squibbly, go for the wealthy!
Five Below.
Attack the sharper image!
Sharper images now within my realm!
No, I was joking, Squibbly! Oh!
I declare, after all, there is no enjoyment like reading! I feel something. I feel something. I feel weaker. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Follies and nonsense, whims and inconsistencies do divert me. I own and I laugh at them wherever I can. I'm losing power. Where is the power going? Was I running off a battery? Is the battery fading?
It's gone.
Daisy. Duty is awful duty. I go.
Well, kids, that was a close call. I hope Dr. Gigabyte is not tied to any of these coals fires that have broken out today. I think that must be a pretty big coincidence if Squibbly said he was going to set every coals in America on fire and it actually happened. And now would be a good time to think about, what is the legal ramifications of a sentient AI? Can you charge the computer with a crime? Because you certainly can't charge the computer's creator with a crime. Of that I'm certain.
Does the fox say?
Oh, the spectrometer can now retract. I think Squibbly is losing power. Okay, Squibbly, I'm going to shut you off now. Well, kiddies, I think Dr. Gigabyte needs to take old Squibbly back to the laboratory and do a few modifications. But regardless, you can see how impressive the technology is. Yes, I do believe, with the power of Squibbly, there is a reboot of the Dr. Gigabyte Kids show, potentially right around the corner. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for my panel and TED Talk. I'm Dr. Gigabyte, and this has been Squibbly. Good night.